In the summer before my senior year of high school, I decided to devote 1 week of my time to rebuilding a house in New Orleans. I had heard about the devastation there, and after 5 years, there was still much to do in Louisiana. Families were waiting eagerly for any help they could get. They lived in trailers for months, watching their old homes just sit abandoned, with no hope that they would ever call them their home again. My church youth group decided to reach out and plan this trip to the lower Ninth Ward of New Orleans. As we drove from the airport to the volunteer house where we stayed, the devastation was extremely evident. Shopping centers that used to flourish with people were abandoned and crumbling. We passed the Superdome where victims stayed to seek shelter. We took walks around the neighborhood where we stayed to find empty concrete slabs where families once lived. We saw the flood walls that surrounded the city spray painted with hope of restoration. There were red X's painted on houses that indicated they would soon be demolished. These scenes showed me I had come to New Orleans for a just cause. Each morning, our group would wake up around 6 a.m., pack our lunches for the day, and head to a tool shed further down the street. We were given a work assignment every day that indicated where we would be working and what jobs we would be doing there. For the entirety of the week, I worked on the same house. This house had been worked on by multiple groups since the devastation of Katrina. At this point, we were placing the final touches on the home. I sanded, painted, and installed flooring. Other groups from my church were starting from scratch. These groups put up framing and installed windows. As we would work, the homeowners would visit and bring us authentic New Orleans cuisine to show us how grateful they were for our help. The family would always have kind words of encouragement to share and a sparkle in their eyes as they walked through the house. Excitement overtook their faces as they realized how soon they would call this house their home again. Their eyes sparkled as they saw another floor installed or a room painted. The family would walk through the house, imagining the empty rooms being filled once again by family and friends. At times it became exhausting working in a house with little to no ventilation and 110-degree heat outside with 100% humidity. I felt sweat dripping from every pore of my body as I lifted the heavy paint roller to finish another room. The thought of my family being homeless for 5 years lingered in my mind and reminded me to give my best effort and to push through the pain. I could never truly understand what it was like to live in a trailer for 5 years, feeling abandoned and forgotten by the government and my fellow Americans. We all saw the devastations for weeks on the news, but once our lives became hectic and we were absorbed by our own problems, the people of New Orleans were forgotten. Throughout this experience, I learned so much about myself. I learned that helping others was the best reward you could ever receive. I learned that hard work and persistence really does pay off. And finally, I learned that if we work together, we can overcome great challenges. Please put yourself in the situation of so many who have been affected by any type of natural disaster. How would you feel waiting day after day for someone to come help you because you were unable to help yourself? What if you came back to everything you had ever known to be gone? What would you do? I urge each and every one of you to reach out to these victims. Please help out in any way you can. Donate your hands, time, money, thoughts, and prayers to those who need it the most. Sacrifice something in your own life to give to someone in dire need. It will definitely be the most rewarding experience of your life. You have never really lived until you have done something for someone who can never repay you. If we all work together, we can achieve anything.